إنما المؤمنون إخوة فأصلحوا بين أخويكم.
Now, from great scholars of Ahlul Sunnah, Ahlul Shia, both sides, they started watching this program because this is a new kind of program to understand each other and how to work together. We discuss here differences and ikhtilafat for the sake of the unity. The proper unity can never be established unless we have to understand each other, we have to understand the nature of the ikhtilafat and how far we can work together despite retaining these ikhtilafat within the limitations, right? This is the purpose of this program. So first question, which, because this topic is very important and I just quote here some questions. Sheikh, you have mentioned, mashallah, properly, this, that, but still there is a narration. The people and the scholar like Allama Dr. Tahirul Qadri Sahab, they incline towards another narration. According to that narration, Nabi alayhi salatu was salam, he never asked Sahaba, including Sayyidina Umar bin Khattab, to bring the material. They were Ahlul Bayt and specifically Imam Ali. Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he asked Imam Ali specifically to bring. And Imam Ali, he never done that, thinking that if I go back finding out the material, lest the Prophet passed away, and he never wanted to depart. When Allama Tahirul Qadri Sahab finished their task, he was defending actually Imam Ali and Sayyidina Umar both. When he finished Imam, that was the love of Imam Ali for the Prophet. Then there was Nara Hedri, Ali is there. So Imam Ali was defended. So according to this narration, for example, then Sahaba, those Sahaba who opposed this bill, including the position of Sayyidina Umar, they are justified. What do you say about it?
Right.
This, can you say, use this? Oh.
Well, I think this...
Bit loud, bit
yeah,
loud.
This narration is there, but closer examination of this narration will prove that the narration is actually weak from both sides, from the sense of diraya and riwaya.
Jazakallah. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Jazakallah.
Yeah.
Jazakallah.
Ahsan. So it is weak from both the sides. And also if we look at it closer, it wasn't that the Prophet died immediately after this request. Yes? Imam Ali would
Within
have...
1-2 minutes.
Yes.
No.
Imam Ali would have had time. Up to 3 days or 3 days he lived. So he would have had time to provide the writing material and the ink for the request of the Prophet. And if you look closer to the life of Imam Ali, you would find him always carrying out the wishes and the requests of the Prophet, never ever going against any of his wishes. So he's not going to do something at the last of his time which is going against the will of the Prophet, whereas throughout his life he has obeyed him.
True. Thank you very much for your... so later on, because this is from the stage.
No, just the same thing about there is a narration about a Sahabi asking Prophet ﷺ, why don't you write it now? And then he explained it why he did.
Right. Thank you. That's a good point. Another question, this is, again, is very important. This is, even after this incident, the Holy Prophet lived for good time, more than 3 days or 3 days. And why didn't the Holy Prophet try to write the same Hebrew? He was obliged to do so according to the Quran. For example, firstly, the Prophet. So this is, again, you have covered in your presentation, however, but again, from Ahlul Sunnah side, because Prophet was obliged, بَلِّغْ مَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ رَبِّكَ, and he lived a good time. But apparently, according to this narration, he failed to write to convey this will to the people. So this is agreed upon by Sunni and Shias. If a prophet fell in one single incident to obey the order of the Holy Prophet, he is no more a prophet. Because there is a Masumiyya, Isma agreed upon. Isma, agreed upon between Sunnis and Shia regarding all prophet, and especially the final messenger. He was not ordinary messenger, Imam al-Anbiya. So according to this is the what you call objection. If we believe in this way, then Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he lived for a good time. He never tried to do that. It means the will was not in terms of the succession. It was something else. However, you covered that,
Yeah.
but we need, in the light of this question,
Yeah.
some more lights.
So we saw that obviously the Prophet has already done this throughout his life during many occasions. This was just something to affirm which he already had completed. In terms of his duty, he's already fulfilled it. This is just affirming whatever he has done before and confirming it. And when he saw what happened in this very sad event or incident that took place, obviously he knew, according to what we see also in Shah Waliullah Delvi's report, that the people are not going to be able to digest this. They will not be able to handle this. So he is in fact saving them from further division, which he was in fact trying to help them in the first place. But it was inevitable. He knew that they are not going to be able to handle this.
Thank you. And Ahlul Sunnah ulama, and if you have any question regarding the explanation and presentation of the Shaykh, you have to write down, and after break, inshallah, there will be opportunity for you. Before break, the question is from the stage. I think this question, what I'm going to ask, this is quite crucial. I think Shaykh Arif Saab, if I can address you for this one, sure. Because this is from Ahlul Sunnah, very strong and the valid question. I'm sure I'm less than the rest of the ulama, but Ahlul Sunnah ulama sometimes they do not try to ask the proper question as they ought to be. That's why, I undertook this duty to ask you without any hesitation. This is, for example, people like Allama Khalid Mahmood, who is the one of the only great authorities of Ahl Dewband school of thought. Great alim and Musannif as well. And even people like Allama Tahir al-Qadri from Saudi ulama, Imam al-Haramain, and all of them. This is the question. For example, if I ask on behalf of Allama Khalid Mahmood Sahab, right? He's very old in Manchester. If we believe in this narration, this Hadith Qirtas, which shows Sahaba failed to obey the order of the Holy Prophet, he asking his audience, Allama Sahab, what would you say? The Prophet was successful or failed? What kind of the people he prepared and his tarbiyah when he asked, I'm writing something very important and that would be saving you from fitna. They disobeyed. They never said that. So in this way, this shows the failure of the Holy Prophet. Not only the failure of Sahaba, failure of the Prophet and his tarbiyah, which shows. So this is something, and he doubted. At the end, he, along with many other people, as Allama Tahir al-Qadri, who is one of the great Wokala spokesmen of Ahlul Bayt in the world, but still he opted for the other narration, which was answered by that. What would you address this question in this way?
Is this a part of a question?
How would you say?
Fullest question? Is this a full question? Or
Full question, because
so
if we,
I will ask everybody
the
here.
point is that the Prophet failed because he prepared the people who disobeyed him. And he says this is the seerah of Sahaba, who always obeyed the Holy Prophet, not disobeyed. So this is the point.
So I want everybody to not to get offended at what I say. Yes?
Yeah.
The Prophet is the biggest failure according to the Muslims. Because they say that Islam will be divided into 73 sects and 72 will go to hell. Forget the Sahaba. Out of the 2 billion Muslims, majority are going to hell. Now you tell me, is the Prophet successful or a failure? That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Yes? That's the first. I said, don't get offended at me.
Yeah.
To God is failure. Because Muslims say only Muslims are going to paradise. So 6 billion people are going to hell. And out of the 2 billion Muslims, 73 sects are going to hell. 72 sects. So God is bigger failure than the Prophet. Can you see that? So let me come to this answer. The way of thinking is very wrong. Success and failure is nothing to do with immediate numbers. According to that equation, every prophet has been a failure. Show me one prophet who's been successful. Musa goes to Tur, Salamullah alayhi, he comes back, he pulls Harun by his beard and his hair. Hal asayt amri. Yes? He said, I was afraid. In al-qawm istad'afuni. وَقَادُوا أَن يَقْتُلُونَ. They were going to kill me. Does that mean Musa is a failure? According to this, does that mean Musa is a failure? See, the yardstick of success and failure is very, very different. Then we get the Prophet. You see, we have to see Sahaba as human beings. They are good souls, they're good human beings. But nonetheless, they are human beings. They have emotions, they have strength, they have weakness, they have aspiration, they have anger. The Sahaba, whilst the Prophet was there, were fighting. And Surah says it does not befit you to fight when the Prophet is with you. Yes? The Sahaba were there and the Prophet was teaching them ahkam. Still their hands were being cut for stealing. Still they were being brought into public and they were being whipped. The Sahaba, poor people, were not angels. They were ordinary people. The women of the Prophet's household who are his wives, Allah says, if you don't stop harassing the Prophet, Allah is your enemy. Jibreel is your enemy, and all the angels are your enemy to the wives of the Prophet. This is human nature. We have to understand things very accurately, the way human beings are. When Juma Salah is being established, وَإِذَا رَأَوْا تِجَارَةً أَوْ لَهْوًا انْفَضُّوا إِلَيْهَا وَتَرَكُوكَ قَائِمًا. So does that mean he's a failure? These are human beings. They're seeing tijara, they're seeing lahaw, they're running for it, right? It's being human. Then the very thing is that the wife of the Prophet, Ridwanullah alayha, goes missing. وَالَّذِينَ جَاءُوا بِالْإِفْكِ عُصْبَةٌ مِّنْكُمْ. Now this is the wife of the Prophet. وَأَزْوَاجُهُ أُمَّهَاتُكُمْ. She is their mother. And they are gossiping about their own mother. This is Sahaba. They are humans. And then to give them the had of qadaf, it's serious business, but these are human beings. Yes? And then Surah Tawbah, the Prophet is saying, let's go to Tabuk. Yeah, these people, the munafiq were 80, but 3 of them were very mu'min, believing Sahaba who stayed behind. Does that mean the Prophet is failure? Then the very serious case was in Surah in Ali Imran, in the Battle of Uhud. We get in the Quran says, إِذَا فَشِلْتُمْ وَتَنَازَعْتُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ. Yes, it's when somebody said that the Prophet has been killed. They started running. And according to some narrations, they went to Abu Sufyan and they said, we are ready to worship Lat and Uzza. Take us back. Yes, these are Sahaba. These are Sahaba. And in history books, we have that everybody ran away. Only 13 people were with the Prophet. Only 13. And the consensus was that Talha and Ali were the 2 definitely there with the Prophet. And who are the other 11? There is differences of opinion, but only 13 remained. And the rest of them fled. So what I'm saying here is that the yardstick of success and failure is not to be seen as Sahaba being like angels and always being obedient to the Prophet. The yardstick of success is this. He has created an ummah.
Yeah.
It is this, that the people who have had differences for 1,400 years are coming together now. And they're saying, look, we need to understand this. This is success. Isa's success is he's got 2 billion followers. Musa's success is he's got the Yahud, and a lot of them are good people. The success of God is we are trying to better ourselves and better this world. So it's like having a class of young men and women who are growing up, and the prophets come, and the fact that humanity is surviving and we are trying to do good, we are trying to say no, charity is good, killing is wrong, ISIS were bad, this is success. So disobedience of the Sahaba and the success of the Prophet can run along side by side. But I do want to ask the Shias a very difficult question after the break, so give me the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Request Sheikh Arab Abdul Hussain Saab, and he got very important questions for the audience.
Question.
Yeah.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Now this question is fundamentally to the Shia, but please everybody can respond. So from the last 3 sessions, what we are seeing is that the Prophet wanted to write a will. And this will was connected to the event of Ghadir Khum.
Yeah.
The verse related in Ghadir Khum was بَلِّغْ مَا يَا أَيُّهَا الرَّسُولُ بَلِّغْ مَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ رَبِّكَ وَإِنْ لَمْ تَفْعَلْ فَمَا بَلَّغْتَ رِسَالَتَهُ. It's a very important thing. فَمَا بَلَّغْتَ رِسَالَتَهُ وَاللَّهُ يَعْصِمُكَ مِنَ النَّاسِ. So that's a very, very important thing that the Prophet was supposed to convey. The speculation is here now that the Prophet said, I will write for you مَا إِن تَمَسَّكْتُمْ بِهِ لَن تَضِلُّوا بَعْدِي. So now here we are saying that this was in order to stop people from fitna. Yes? And this is the thing that is coming out amongst the Shia, and I think the Sunni is also beginning to agree with that. Now I want to ask a very, very simple question here. Allah says, وَمَا يَزَالُونَ مُخْتَلِفِينَ in the Quran, that there will always be ikhtilaf amongst them, no matter what you do. Yes? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that there will always be ikhtilaf. Now, I want to ask questions, listen to this very carefully. Imam Ali is the first Imam for the Shia, okay? And the first Khalifa for the Shia, the right Khalifa for the Shia. This is the way Shias understand. So, after Imam Ali came Imam Hassan, after Imam Hassan came Imam Hussein. Why was there a fight after Imam Hussein between the Shia as to who was the Imam after Imam Hussein? There is ikhtilaf. There is the Hassani Sadat, there is the Husseini Sadat. After Imam Zainul Abidin, there is a fight amongst the Shias. There is a Zaydi Shia and the Ismaili Isna Ashri Bohra Shia. After Imam Sadiq Salamullah alayh, there is a fight amongst the Shia. You have Bohra Shia, Ismaili Shia, Isna Ashri Shia. So the ikhtilafat that the Prophet wanted to stop by the wasiyah have always been there anyway within the Shias who accept Imam Ali as one. So the Prophet's will, even if he would have said Ali Salamullah alayhi is the Khalifa after me, ikhtilafat will still would have been there within the Shia anyway. Now, if it was such a very important thing, I'm just asking, yes, don't curse me for asking these questions. بَلِّغْ مَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ رَبِّكَ فَإِنْ لَمْ تَفْعَلْ فَمَا بَلَّغْتَ رِسَالَتَهُ. Allah could have just sent one ayah في أمر ابن عمك علي وفي أمر ولاية علي. He could have just added 2 words. In the Quran you have أقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة. أقيموا الصلاة. In one place don't say أقيموا الصلاة, just say ولاية of أمير المؤمنين. If it was honestly that important, I'm saying I agree with the Shias. I agree with the Shias. It was about Ali ibn Abi Talib and whatever. But I want to ask, yes, if it was in the way that the Shias and the Sunnis have understood, then shouldn't we are saying the obligation was on the Prophet to write the will and to say it. Surely the first obligation is on God. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving hidayah in the Quran for every little thing, that is our claim. That this was for ma ballaghta risalata, this is the massive thing now. So is it possible that Allah gives hidayah, yes? La ta'kulu riba ad'afan mudha'afa, he talks about riba there, yes? He talks about every tafassahu fil majalis, tasaffahu fil majalis, right? He talks about give space in majalis. Is it such a big thing, tasaffahu fil majalis? Is it such a big thing And here he's saying, فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلْ فَمَا بَلَّغْتَ رِسَالَةَ. This is such a massive thing. So why didn't he himself put a little verse there? These are questions I'm asking. Then the Prophet is saying, إِن تَمَسَّكْتُمْ. If you were to, this in itself is a conditional statement. إِن تَمَسَّكْتُمْ. It's up to you, but if you were to hold on to this, then you will never be misguided. Right? So what does that mean? This is something, the choice you will have to make. So I'm not going to give my own answer here. I just want to pose this question to my Shia and Sunni brothers, that I think, yes, the Prophet was going to write the wasi of Ali ibn Abi Talib salamullah alayhi. Yes, I do feel that. For me, that's clear. But is it in the way that we have understood, that everybody became a murtad, a kafir, a munafiq, an asi? You know, is it in that way as well? I mean, it's not nice when the Prophet says, bring me paper and pen, and we say, no, he's delirious or he's sick. No, you have to give it to him. Okay, fine. The Sahaba failed there for doing that. That was a huge failure and the mistake by the Sahaba. I understand that. But on the flip side, if it was the most important thing, that the way the Shia say it, the verse should have revealed it. The ikhtilafat were still there within the Shia anyway. So how do we now reconcile this and think over that?
Thank you very much. I think this statement what you have just uttered, this may provide the solid basis for the proper understanding between Shia and Sunnis. Plus, there is a hadith from both sides, from Bukhari, Muslim, Muwatta, and from the Shias as well. And Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he prayed, and especially about the complete unity and love among his ummah, which was not accepted. Complete unity after him, including Sahaba, the first. The three du'as, three supplication, and this was the final one. This we may find in Bukhari, Muslim, many others, authentic. But it was not, because that was the test. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created human being for a test, out of your willingness, not force.
So then,
that's
therefore,
why.
by writing that wasiya, the unity will still not be there.
That's now, sorry, because we have to follow the proper procedure. Now, Maulana Muhammad Ashraf Qureshi Sah, who is one of the great scholars and Musannif author, and so he wants to put his question.
Sheikh, first of all, I agree with you what you say. Jazakallah khair, mashallah. I think Islam was completed with revealing the ayat Al-Yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati wa raditu lakumul Islam dina. So there is nothing was to write down on that time, and maybe if Pagambar writing something, it should be minor things, because Islam was completed, and if we believe that matter was about Imamah of the Ali, he should not miss it. And secondly, since last 6 months, I'm writing the Manaqib of the, I'm sorry if I could not explain you because my English not good.
It's okay.
Since last 6 months, I'm writing
आप
the
उर्दू में कह रहे हैं?
Munaqiba.
आप उर्दू में बात कर ले, शेख उसको ट्रांसलेट कर
ठीक है,
लेंगे।
जज़ाकल्लाह।
नहीं, आप अंग्रेजी में ही बात कर रहे हैं, बहुत अच्छी फैसला
नहीं, मेरा ख्याल में वो
उर्दू में ज़्यादा अच्छा करेंगे।
पहली गुजारिश ये है,
अब मैं भी कहूँ कि यार मुझे कागज और कलम दे, और मैं कहने
अच्छा,
ठीक है।
पहली बात ये है कि मैं पिछले 6 महीने से आले बैत के फ़ज़ाइल और मुनाकिब लिख रहा हूँ। मैं समझता हूँ कि अगर जहाँ कुरान पाक ने लफ्ज़ मौला इस्तेमाल किया है, वो सारी आयात मैंने लिखी हैं, और अगर उनको सामने रख लिया जाए तो लफ्ज़ मौला के माना जहाँ हम मास्टर करते हैं या दिस एंड दैट या इमाम या खिलाफत, ये किसी रैंक के लिए या मनसब के लिए नहीं था। हजूर ने फरमाया जिससे मुझे मोहब्बत है आप लोगों को भी मोहब्बत करनी चाहिए. Yes, we do. We love Ali. We love Ali बात. एंड दूसरी बात ये मैं बात इसलिए कह रहा हूँ कि इस्लाम उस दिन मुकम्मल हो गया था जिस दिन ये आयत नाज़िल हुई, अल यौम अकमलतु लकुम दीनकुम. ये आयत नाज़िल होने के साथ ही इस्लाम मुकम्मल हो गया. अगर हज़रत मोहम्मद रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम हज़रत अली की इमामत के बारे में ताकीद या वसीयत करना चाहते थे तो ये तो बहुत बड़ा एक मैसिव मामला था, ये मिस नहीं होना चाहिए था. कोई मामूली आपके जहन में मैं भी आप सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम किसी आयत को दोबारा लिखवाते या किसी अपने फरमान को लिखवाते तो ये यहाँ तक बात ना पहुँचती और ना सहाबा इनकार कर सकते थे. दूसरी जो आपने तोजी बयान फरमाई है, मैं 100% आपके साथ इत्तेफाक करता हूँ. दैट्स व्हाट.
So I will thank you, Maulana Sahib. I will give a brief account of what Maulana Sahib said, and I'll respond to this.
Okay.
So Maulana Sahib is saying he's writing a book for the last 6 months talking about the merits of Imam Ali and Ahlul Bayt. He has reviewed the verses mentioning Mawla, and he says Mawla, the word inside the Quran, is not used in the meaning of leadership or any rank. The Prophet said, the one I love, you ought to love, and that's all it means. Maulana further concluded with this remark that Islam was completed with the revelation of the verse, Al-Yawm akmaltu lakum deenukum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati. And if the wasiyah was for the Khilafah of Imam Ali, then he should have written it down because it was a very massive thing. Now I want to respond to Maulana here, going in a different going from the last one first. Al-Yawm akmaltu lakum deenukum, this verse was revealed.
Deenakum.
Al-Yawm akmaltu lakum deenakum. I'm not a proper Sunni yet. Al-Yawm akmaltu lakum deenakum. Now, if, Maulana Sahib, if this is correct what you're saying, then we find in Shia Sunni books that the ahkam of Islam were still coming after this verse. And the Quran was still being revealed after this verse was revealed. Because this was at Ghadir, Khum, or in Arafah. According to Sunni, it was in Mina or Arafah or Makkah. 3 views. According to Shia, this verse was revealed in Ghadir, Khum. After that, the Prophet lived and the verses of the Quran were still being revealed. If you are saying that this verse completed the deen, then there was no more Quran left to come. But after this ayah, the Quran was still being revealed and the ahkam of Islam was still being given. So this verse did not complete the revelation of the deen. That's the first thing. 2, when you said that the Prophet is saying, the one I love, you should love. When Imam Ali says, this is my right, it is not love to tell him we're not going to give it to you. This is the hatred of the Prophet. Can you see this? Rasul jab kahe ki the one I love, Allah love the one that I love. So the one that the Prophet loves tells you that this is my right. And you tell him, no, it's not your right. This is not love for the Prophet. This is hatred of the Prophet. So that argument, I can't accept this. The third argument, the Mawla argument in the Quran. لا تتخذ اليهود والنصارى أولياء بعضهم أولياء بعض. Here it was in the case of business transactions and partnerships. Mawla here meant in authority. So the word Mawla in the Quran, if you look, also means authority, not only friendship or wilaya. So these are my responses to your 3 discussions.
Thank you very much. Now, Sheikh, you... Okay, yeah. Further clarification, yeah.
Sorry, because of his question was very long in it. It needed a lot of longer reply, but we just... I think there is 3 major issues here that we have to look at it. Firstly, no source that we have, both Shias and Sunni. Our problem that we think that the way how it has been reported by our narrators, our Imams, they are the real verbatim words of the Imams or the Prophet, which is very wrong. Because according to the Mustalah al-Hadith, many hadith, more than 90%, has been narrated in ma'na. It is not the real verbatim word of the Prophet. Imam Bukhari, for example, he said himself, according to Fathul Bari of Ibn Hajar, that رُبَّ حديث سمعته بالبصرة كتبته بالشام, and رُبَّ حديث سمعته بالشام كتبته في مصر. And the narrator of that hadith, who was a student of Imam Bukhari, is asking him, Ya Aba Abdullah, bitamamihi wa kamalihi, do you write it in its all, perfectly as you have heard, whatever? Fasakata, he remained silent, Imam Bukhari, which means that he never write hadith with its all, the way how he ate it was. He used to write it according to his own understanding. And so the Shia hadith the same.
Same.
We cannot claim that all hadith has been narrated, verbatim words of the Imams. So now if that is the case, and it is not the case, because majority of the Shias and the Sunnis, we believe that this is the word of the Prophet, this is how it was, and then we start. For example, the hadith of the will in Nitarikum Fikum Thaqalain, for example, it may be the scenario was not the way how we think. It may be the way how people did deferred in the house of the Holy Prophet. It was not the way how it has been, narrated by the. So we still need research. We need a lot of collaboration. We need a lot of riwayat to add up, and make a lot of
There are
research.
three words: فيكم ثقلين أمرين شيئان.
See,
Yes.
the way how they
Yes.
write. All right. And then there is a hadith, Kitabullah Sunnah. Anyway, so this is the first issue. The second issue, that we live in the world of Alam al-Ikhtiyar, as Sheikh said. We cannot say because Allah said this, then it must be this. Because Allah, He doesn't live here with us. We don't live with Malaika here. We are humans. We live in the world of Ikhtiyar. So whatever Allah says is something else, and whatever we do here is something else. Because we live in the world of Ikhtiyar. So we do in accordance to what we need, what we want, what we can do it. So this is why Quran says, قُلْ لَوْ كَانَ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَلَائِكَةٌ يَمْشُونَ مُطْمَئِنِّينَ لَبَعَثْتُ مَلَائِكَةَ رَسُولًا. Allah, He could have sent the angel to be a prophet. But because we are humans in this earth, so we do what we think. So if Allah or the Holy Prophet say that Ali should be Imam, that His will. But if the people didn't do that, it's something else. So it shouldn't be here, something like, this is the second thing. The third is why the Shias have differed, if that was the case. The same ikhtiyar issue comes here. That we live in the world of ikhtiyar and with desires and everything. We have been affected by scenarios, affected by political situation, social situation of that time, and our opinions of that time. Because some Shia, they believe that Imam has to take a sword and fight and capture the people, then that is Imam. If the Imam stay in his home and just direct, that is not an Imam. Like how they used to think about Imam Zain al-Abidin and others. So this is the idea that used to come to some people because they live in the world of ikhtiyar. So the verse which says وَلَا يَزَلُونَ مُخْتَلِفِينَ, it covers all of these, scenarios. That we shouldn't forget about this.
Bani Umayyah.
So there was also scenarios of Bani Umayyah that they kill in Kufa, Al-Kufa, they used to persecute, a lot of things happen. So it depends upon the situation that's happened. I think that's
Jazakallahu khairan. This is the best explanation in this way. Sheikh
Can I respond to
Arif,
that?
Maulana Mufti Abdul Majid Nadeem, this is one of the good scholars. Right.
My question is that did Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his life he established a system of Khilafah? If he has established, did he give guidelines that if someone has all these qualities, that could be Khalifa? That is one thing. The other thing is, what do you think that in Islam, Khalifa will be elected or selected or appointed? What is that?
I think the Sheikh Arif is best to respond.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give two remarks to Sheikh Abu Jafar, and then with that mix here. I think we're making a bit of a confusion between Khilafah and Imamah. Khilafah is to do with people. Imamah is to do with Allah. Yes? When Hassan ibn Ali salamullah alayhi, after the death of Imam Ali, when he came to the people, he says, the people of Aqd and Hal, right, have given bay'ah to me. And therefore he says to Muawiyah, I am the Khalifa. And Imam Hassan made that as an evidence that I am the Khalifa. The Khilafah comes from Bay'ah. Yes? Imam Hussein also says to the people of Kufa that you invited me. If you no longer want my leadership, let me be, I will go away. The Prophet said, Al-Hassan wal-Hussein imaman qama wa qa'ada. The imamah is separate issue. Khilafah is with the people. People choose a Khalifa, people dissolve a Khalifa. I think here is the problem that we have in our analysis of the will of the Prophet. I think this is the way we should look at it. Now the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if he had said that this is the way to choose a Khalifa, then we would not have Saqifa. We would not have Khalifa Abu Bakr doing wasiyah for Khalifa Umar. We would not have Khalifa Umar making a select committee. So neither does there appear clear guidelines from the Prophet. And if the sunnah of the Khulafa is incumbent, then Khalifa Umar did not follow the sunnah of Khalifa Abu Bakr. And in Saqifa, there was nobody's sunnah being followed. So, what we understand from the life of the Prophet is that he has not put criterion, he has just been gesturing and indicating at Ali ibn Abi Talib. Because Ali ibn Abi Talib was the master of the Quran in understanding. He was the bravest of the man in fighting. He was most pious and least one who would favor his own people. Yes? He was the most ascetic person ever you could find. So the Prophet was not establishing the criterion of Khilafah, but he was saying, look, this is the man, I trust him. The Prophet made him into his brother in Medina. Yes? Mu'akhat. He made ukhuwa bain al-Muhajirin wal-Ansar, but he did not do it with Ansar. Neither did Ali ibn Abi Talib do it with Ansar. Rasulullah did it with Ali. So these are, when you look at it objectively, you say that, yeah, the Prophet did not establish criterion, but the Prophet was always gesturing at Ali, always gesturing. At Ghadir Khum, Man kuntu mawla fahada Aliun mawla. In Ukhuwa, it is Ali. In his wasiyah, it is Ali. When he leaves Makkah, it is Ali who is executing his wasiyah and his duyun and everything else. So I think the Prophet, Surah Tawbah, he said, either you deliver it, O Muhammad, or one like you. So Imam Ali intercepts Khalifa Abu Bakr and when he delivers. So if you were to look at the Prophet's life, we come out with it that yes, the Prophet was also always gesturing for the leadership to Ali ibn Abi Talib. And you would be left with no doubt that he was always gesturing Ali.
Now I come back to you are saying, if that was so important, why Prophet was giving a little indication? You should say Ali is your Khalifa.
Yes, so this is what I'm saying as well, that when you ask about what the Prophet was doing outside, he was always pointing at Ali, but the Khilafah is the right of the people. So the people were supposed to take that and follow the advice of the Prophet. In the Masaktum, if you were to follow it, so it was the right of the people and the people were supposed to do what the Prophet was advising them, because that's the best thing to do.
आप वजाहत कर दें उसकी, फिर डॉक्टर अताउल्लाह साहब को हम दावत दें जी।
ये कर लेंगे ट्रांसलेट। मसला ये है कि एक तो इन्होंने एग्जांपल दिया है रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम का, दूसरा मिसाल जो है वो हज़रत उमर की है कि जब हज़रत उमर अपने आखिरी दौर में कुछ बहुत सोचने लग गए थे, तो अब्दुल्ला इब्न अब्बास ने कहा कि आप बड़े परेशान रहते हैं, क्या सोचते हैं? कहा मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि मेरे बाद क्या होगा, कौन खलीफा होगा, उम्मत का वारिस कौन होगा। तो उन्होंने कहा कि अली के बारे में क्या ख्याल है? इब्न अब्बास ने कहा, तो उसने कहा कि मैं अगर अली को अपने बाद खलीफा बना दूँ तो खुदा की कसम वो लोगों को रसूलुल्लाह के रास्ते पर और सिरात मुस्तकीम पे लेके चलेगा। तो फिर इब्न अब्बास ने कहा उनको बना दें। तो हज़रत उमर ने कहा कि लोग नहीं मानेंगे। ये वो बात है कि जो ये कह रहे हैं कि खिलाफत जो है वो लोगों का हक है कि वो जिसको बनाना चाहें। तो हज़रत उमर ने कहा लोग नहीं मानेंगे। इब्न अब्बास ने अगला क्वेश्चन नहीं किया कि कौन से लोग नहीं मानेंगे, उन्होंने फ़ौरन उस्मान इब्न अफ़ान का नाम लिया और इसको इब्न साकिर ने, मुहद्दिस इब्न साकिर ने पूरी सनद के साथ लिखा है। तो हज़रत उस्मान का नाम लिया कि फिर उनको बना दें, उनके बारे में आपका क्या ख्याल है? कहा मैं अगर उस्मान को बना दूं तो वो बनु मुआयद को लोगों की गर्दनों पर मुसल्लत कर देंगे और अगर उन्होंने ऐसा किया तो अल्लाह की कसम लोग उनको कत्ल कर देंगे। कौन लोग कत्ल कर देंगे ये भी नहीं, लेकिन सब जानते हैं, तो लोग उनको कत्ल कर देंगे। तो इसका मतलब ये है कि हज़रत उमर के ज़हन में और सहाबा के ज़हन में भी ये बात थी कि खिलाफत जो है खलीफा अल्लाह की तरफ से मुकर्रर नहीं होगा, बल्कि ये अवामुन्नास का राइट है, वो जिसको चुन ले.
So Mufti Sahib has added to the comment that Khalifa Umar towards the end of his life or the last parts of his life was in a state of bewilderment and worried. So Ibn Abbas approached him and he said, what causes you this worry? He said, what will happen after me and who should lead the people? Ibn Abbas said, what about Ali? He said, if I were to appoint Ali, he will lead them like the Prophet led them, but I fear that the people will not accept him. So the point Mufti Sahib is making here is saying that, look, Khilafah is the right of the people. People have to choose a Khalifa. So then Ibn Abbas immediately asked, well, what about Uthman bin Affan? He said, yes. If I put Uthman bin Affan, he will put but he will give leadership to Bani Mu'aid, and then people will kill him for that. He said people will accept him, but then he will do this, which will result in his death. So these are the examples that Mufti Sahib is giving to say that, look, yes, Khilafah, the Prophet can gesture and say this is the best one, but Khilafah is your political right, and therefore you choose. You can't force anybody as a Khalifa. But Imamat, the Prophet did declare about Ali Salamullah alayhi and about Al-Hasan al-Hussein.
All right. That's why we don't have a Sheikh, unfortunately, Umar bin Ramazan from Brelvi and Sufi school of thought, because they're talking about Imamah and Khilafah both separately. Imamah is for Ahlul Bayt, Imam Ali, and Khilafah, okay, Khalifa, Sayyidina Abu Bakr, Sayyidina Umar, they are rightful Khalifa to them, because basing on the same way. But Imamah is for Ahlul Bayt, Imam Ali, Imam Hassan, Hussain, and so on.
Just Imamah will be very weak, like we Imam are very weak, without Khilafah, without the power.
Yeah, that's very good point to be reflected. Dr. Ataullah Siddiqui Sahab.
That's a very good point.
Dr. Ataullah Sahab.
Clarification I wanted to know from Shia. Now, this whole Imamah, Sayyidina Ali's succession, where you put that in your Aqidah? What is the weight of that within the Shia context?
Sure. So the articles of faith are only 3.
Yes.
According to the Shia, and the Sunni are in consensus with that. So it's Tawheed, Risala, and Ma'ad Qiyamah. Only 3. Now, you will find the Shia articles of faith, Tawheed, Adala, Risala, Imamah. So it becomes 5. But the Shia ulama will explain that Adala is a part of Tawheed anyway. It was because of the Mu'tazili and the Ash'ari theological Kalami issues that they brought Adala in their free will and Jabr. Now, the reason why Imamah has been brought out of Risala is because of the conflict that the early Muslims had.
So it is the contextual impact of it.
It's a contextual. So what they should have actually been thinking was that Khilafah is one mansab, Imamah is another mansab. Because Bani Abbas, they came to Imam Sadiq and they said, take the Khilafah. Imam Sadiq refused. Now if Khilafah and Imamah was one mansab, Imam Sadiq would have been obliged to take it. So he did tafkeek. So this is the reason Imamah is not supposed to be a separate function at all, that it becomes an article of faith. It is part and parcel of Risala, the explication of Sharia.
Imam Ali refused as well. The
Khilafah.
First time.
Yeah. When they came for Bay'ah, he refused. But the thing is, this is good because I think all of the side we need to think and try and say, okay, this is what happened in history and this is how we need to think through it.
Yeah, this whole idea of Aqidah is, there is not only one direction, the other direction is equally important, as Sheikh Jafar was saying.
Yeah.
The contextual dimension.
Yeah.
Contextual dimension puts certain beliefs in a particular context and makes to the successors as an important and very significant.
Yeah.
Yes, Sheikh Mahmoud just he is intended to respond.
Yeah, I just wanted to actually raise this question as well and see, I believe that in the event of Ghadir or the khutbah of Ghadir, before mentioning Ali ibn Abi Talib, the Prophet said to the people, and we saw it here in this narration, that he asked thrice, do I have more right, do I not have more right over the believers than they have over themselves? And as we mentioned, that the Khilafah is right for the people, and then after this, getting this yes from them, then he appoints or mentions the name of Ali ibn Abi Talib. How do you, in light of Khilafah and Imamah being separate, how would we respond to this? I mean, this is a question for us as well.
I think that's such a valid point you've raised, because the Prophet seems to have taken a democratic process in taking the right from the people to appoint. I think this is an argument that can be made that the Prophet appointed a Khalifa. And then it may be because that wasn't understood, he wanted to write it down again. Because the Prophet said, do I have more right upon you than you yourselves? When they said, Bala ya Rasulullah, so in a democratic process, he has taken the right. And after taking the right, then he has appointed Ali salamullah alayhi, then that would make sense. Now, whether they go against it or they uphold it is another thing altogether.
Okay. Now, before Brother Taimur, and then after Brother Taimur, Maulana Abdul Hamid Qusuri, inshallah, would be there. I will request my sister at the back, and if you put any question, ask or comments. Okay, thank you. Brother Taimur.
Yeah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. A lot been said, but a few things hasn't been said. The Prophet ﷺ knew, he was aware of his Sahabi, the people around him. Okay, and the example was in Qadir Khum, when he actually raised Hazrat Ali's hand and everything. But it wasn't the very first time that the Sahabi, the people, either ignored or they did something different. The reason I'm saying that one, before Saqifa, there was a fighting was going on between Quraysh and Ansar, because they discovered that these people are not going to choose Hazrat Ali, and they are looking for alternatives. So the Quraysh was saying that this is our right, because Prophet is from Mecca and we are Quraysh, we should be, somebody from us should be next Caliph. And then on the same time, the Ansar was saying that, but we gave everything, all our wealth and everything, no, they should be from Ansar. So Prophet ﷺ knew about all these in the background, and that is why he said it not once, the second time, the third time, and he put actually his will in practice rather than write it in it. But then he knew that the Sahabi are still arguing with each other. He knew that. And these, which I'm saying, that is all in that book. They were arguing, and they say, you know, like in Sahih Bukhari, where it says, Hubb Dunya, why the Sahabi made a bay'ah, 120,000 Sahabi made a bay'ah with Hazrat Ali, and then they broke it. And they said, why they broke it? He says, Hubb Dunya, the love of the dunya. Okay, so based on these, Prophet ﷺ asked to bring a pen and paper, and that is what happened. But then the Khilafah, which is the Madani rules or whatever, which is running, you know, because obviously Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never leave the ummah without the guidance. Also we got the Quran, but also it has to be somebody to guide the people, because people become to the business like a Sahabi who left Jum'ah and they rushed for the business. Okay, so that's Wilayah is always there, you know. But we got to open our eyes and find that. The Hadith which we said, Man mata wala ya'raf imam, mata mayat jahiliyyah. That is that we all got to.
This is from Ahl Sunnah as well, the same
yeah,
hadith.
exactly. Well, there are different riwayat in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's from Ahl Sunnah. Yeah. Okay, so we got our, you know, we are, you know, Sahabi, for instance, Sahabi weren't freshta, which is injured. Okay, but unfortunately, some of our brothers Sunnis or whatever, which I've got many friends, they say when it comes to Sahabi, I'm not talking about the Sahabi, but there are Sahabi Hazrat Umar did had on them because they were drinking. Okay, this is unfortunate, but this is the reality. The vision we've got about Sahabi. No, the Sahabi are very, very high, like the power now. They are not.
Here, I may interrupt you, Brother Taimur. The point is that you are right. I agree with you because this is based on that no Sahabi is infallible, Ma'soom al-Khata.
Exactly.
That's why Sheikh mentioned here in the context of Uhud and very strong word used by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. There was clear disobedience from senior Sahaba. حَتَّى إِذَا فَشِلْتُمْ وَتَنَازَعْتُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ وَعَصَيْتُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا أَرَاكُمْ مَا تُحِبُّونَ مِنْكُمْ مَنْ يُرِيدُ الدُّنْيَا وَمِنْكُمْ مَنْ يُرِيدُ الْآخِرَةَ. And I can remember on the minbar, long time ago, I was not in position to translate properly these verses to my people. I must be in trouble. This is the Quran. Why? Including myself, we propagated that the Sahaba, they were infallible. They are mahfuz infallible. No even single khata may be ascribed to Sahaba. This is against the Quran. Why this view is wrongly established among the Ahl Sunnah? From the other side, their point of consideration as well from your side, because Shia, I'm not talking about the proper and the sincere Shias, because we know generally, which is Awami Mazhab, when they're talking about Sahaba, that's the derogatory insult. Right? And we know. And this is the reaction from the other side. So now this is the time for.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
I think on the issue of bay'ah, when we say in Qadir, Imam Ali Salamullah alayhi says about Talha and Zubair that they did my bay'ah, summa naqadu, then they broke it. Bay'ah only meant one thing in that time, if you study it carefully, that if I do bay'ah of somebody, it means I do not have the right of dissent or politically opposing them or making a war. Now, was the bay'ah done to Imam Ali in Ghadir of that same nature, the political bay'ah? I'm just a bit confused here, because Imam Ali points out about Talha and Zubair that they did my bay'ah and then they broke it. And now they are raising arms against me. Bay'ah only meant that we will pay political allegiance and we will not rise in arm against you. Now, I think the Shia texts also say this, that Imam Ali of sort did do bay'ah of Khalifa Abu Bakr after the demise of Bibi Fatima. So how does that work then? So I just want, I think, the Shias and the Sunnis to deliberate this issue.
This is coming, Sheikh, in the next.
We are, okay.
In the next, thoroughly. Maulana Abdul Hamid Kusuri sir.
I think it's already been cleared here that Imamah and Khilafah, these are two separate things. So the matter, quite a lot is already solved. Khilafah, if that wasn't such an important thing that for Prophet ﷺ to implement or nominate in his life, then we can say that Sahaba radiallahu anhum, like such as Umar or the other radiallahu anhum, the old, they were around the Prophet ﷺ at that time. If they looked more at the sickness of Prophet ﷺ rather than bringing something, or they did not stop anyone, but rather than bringing something, that means they were on the right thing as well, because they were looking at the sickness of Prophet ﷺ. So they did not disobey in that as such. This is number one, because if it was important, then the Quran says, Wallahu yasimuka minan nas, whatever is revealing from Allah, that Prophet's responsibility to implement, and Wallahu yasimuka minan nas, Allah will save you from the people. This is number one. Number two, I believe the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came to lead an exemplary life for the Ummah. And from the start right till the last day that the age was being given by Allah, the time was being given by Allah, that was to lead an exemplary life, not such as us like to fulfill our own wishes and our own wills. But Prophet's life every moment was to set an example for the Ummah. If that was the case, then right at the end, particularly when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was leaving this world, angel comes, and that whole has also been narrated in Sayyid Asnad. Angel comes, and then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam khatab, Nabi alayhi salatu wasallam addressed to people, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Allah has given me option to leave this world or to go back to Allah, and I have chosen to go back to Allah. That means the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam even had some sort of choice as well to stay a bit longer. Whatever remaining from Allah, that could also be given more time, if that was very important. So that means that wasn't such major thing. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam left this one to the Ummah. Another thing, I think today it is very good form that we are discussing this one, and in very good environment as well, alhamdulillah. And we need these type of forums where people can come together, discuss in a very nice way. But at the time of Prophet ﷺ, even after him, soon after him, we find amongst all the companions, particularly the Khilafah, Sayyidina Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali radiallahu anhum ajma'in, they all got marriages amongst their children and amongst their children. Is this happening today amongst Shia and Sunni? That means we have got our own many variations, and much more from our own maybe perception and our own understanding. So whatever comes from the resources, that's more important rather than putting from ourselves. So this is what I want to say.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I just respond
आप
to
अभी
that?
बाद में बहुत अभी लिस्ट है हमारे पास.
Can I just
Just
respond
Yes,
to that?
sir.
Imamah
Shia.
Shia?
add कर लें just.
Yes.
Mawlana Ghusri, thank you. That was such a phenomenal point you made at the end.
Yeah.
But I want to just pick on 2 points you said. If the Prophet says, bring me pen and paper, the context is that there was confusion. And in order to remove the confusion, the Prophet said, bring pen and paper. That resulted in the Sahaba fighting and quarreling and raising their voices in front of the Prophet. At that time, the senior Sahaba should have said, fine, don't raise your voice, we'll give him the paper and pen. That was the rightest thing to do. See, first, a person who loves the Prophet says, leave him, he's ill. But then when there's a big quarrel, then the person, okay, fine, stay calm, we'll give him the paper and pen. That was the rightest thing to do. Now, you can say, yes, in their naivety, they made a mistake, but you have to admit they made a mistake. And Sahaba fighting in front of the Prophet is definitely a huge mistake. Because the Prophet said, Kum wangi, go away. Yeah, it doesn't befit you to fight like that while I'm still alive. That's not right. This is not how the Sahaba ought to have behaved. That was wrong. Now, the biggest problem was the civil wars that came about in Islam. You see, had there been the text of the Prophet that Ali is a Khalifa, Bibi Aisha would not have fought in Jamal against him.
Exactly.
Muawiyah would not have fought in Siffin against him. Do you know how many people died and there was a Sahaba fighting amongst each other?
Only 2,000.
According to the narrations, I don't know if Sunni historians say the same thing, but the Shia historians, they said Imam Ali went and spoke to Bibi Aisha loud in Basra. He said, you don't know what you are doing. Your advisors, Abdullah bin Zubair, you don't trust this advisor. What you're doing today will cause fitna within Ummah till the day of Qiyamah, the civil wars. So, not to say that didn't make any difference, no, it made a huge difference. I mean, I can't deny that. And the way Muawiyah got away with it all, he just got away with it. You know, we could sweet talk, and he was very charismatic. Even with Khalifa Umar, he said, I don't know about Muawiyah, he just convinces me. The way he lives, Khalifa Umar was living a very poor life, a very humble life, but Muawiyah was living a very lavish lifestyle. And Khalifa Umar said, I don't know how he sweet talks me, he has a way with words. Muawiyah created the biggest problem in Islam. You can't deny this. He used it to his benefit. Ibn Taymiyyah also says that Khilafah Rashida will continue for this many years after me, 40 years. As soon as Muawiyah gains power, according to the Hadith, that is when Khilafah Rashida finishes. So Al-Hasan is within Khilafah Rashida. So I'm just saying, it's not a question of anybody hating them. Nobody hates the Sahaba. But it's a question of me and you going to Allah alone. There will be no Prophet or Imam Ali or Khalifa Umar or Khalifa Abu Bakr or anybody. It will just be me and my God. I owe it to my Allah to be truthful to myself. I don't hate anybody, but I need to be truthful when I'm examining history. I have to be
I'll
objective.
disagree here, but no one here who hates the Sahaba will say the things.
Yes.
I think there is a mass.
Alhamdulillah.
Unfortunately, there is a mass that this is happening around the Ummah.
Yeah.
So this is, I think, this forum is very important for that.
So what I'm saying is we should not. So when Nabi Musa gets angry and gets Harun Salamullah alayhi's head and beard, we will say that Nabi Musa had a problem with anger. Nabi Musa had a problem with anger. Yes? We can't deny that. Now that's not hating Musa, it's loving Musa, but we are being very objective.
Yes, thank you very much. What's the point raised by Maulana Abdul Hamid Qusuri Sahab at the end of his remarks? In those days, there was intermarriages and the law
Yes.
was established.
Yes.
What about today?
Yes.
It is a big question mark for the both sides.
Yes, you're
Now
right.
the time for Rafiq Shah Sahab, mashallah, one of the great ulama and sympathizers. Ji.
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। पहले तो मैं आप सब हज़रात का शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ डॉक्टर आरिफ साहब का, जिन्होंने इतना बेहतरीन प्लेटफॉर्म मुहैया किया है। शिया सुन्नी दोनों मसाले को इकट्ठे बैठकर दरमियानी रास्ता निकालने का। यहाँ पे हमारे बैठने का मकसद सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक है, यानी हक और बातिल की पहचान नहीं है, बल्कि दरमियानी रास्ता निकालना है कि हम शिया होने के बावजूद, सुन्नी होने के बावजूद एक दूसरे के साथ एहतराम के साथ, प्यार मोहब्बत के साथ, कबूलियत के साथ मुआशरे में रह सकें और हर एक दूसरे को इस्लाम का नुमाइंदा ही तस्लीम करे। मेरा ख्याल है कि इसका यही मकसद है। फिर दूसरी बात यह है कि हमारी नेचर ये है कि हम आम तौर पे जो चीज़ किसी शख्सियत की तरफ से क्लियर न हो तो हम अपनी ज़ौकियात को, अपनी ख्वाहिशात को उसके सर थोपने की कोशिश करते हैं। यानी बहुत सारी ऐसी बातें मुझे मालूम हैं ज़माना हादिर में कि ऐसी शख्सियात के साथ मुताल्लिक़ कर दी जाती हैं कि जो उनकी बातें नहीं होती। मिसाल के तौर पे अब यानी सैयद होने के नाते और कल्बी लगाव होने के नाते मेरी ये ज़ाती ज़ौक़ है, तबीयत है कि मेरी ये ख्वाहिश है, शौक़ है कि खलीफा अव्वल हज़रत अली रज़ी अल्लाह ताला अन्हु को होना चाहिए था। इस ज़ौक़ की वजह से मैं ये कहूँगा कि ये हदीस किरतास जो है इसमें भी आप अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम हज़रत अली को नॉमिनेट करना चाहते थे, लेकिन हतमी तौर पर मैं ये नहीं कह सकता। मैं इसको उसी ज़मन में कहता हूँ कि जैसे अगर आप अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम के बाद उन्होंने कोई बात क्लियर नहीं की तो हम बहैसियत इंसान किसी सूरत पे भी ये यकीनी तौर पे नहीं कह सकते कि आप अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम यही कहना चाहते थे। अगर हम ये कहें तो मैं समझता हूँ वो किज़ब के दुपने में आ सकता है। हाँ, इम्कानी तौर पे मैं ये भी कह सकता हूँ कि जैसे आले तशय्युअ का गुमान है आप अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम वैसे कहना चाहते थे, और इम्कानी तौर पर मैं कह सकता हूँ कि नहीं, आप अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम कुछ और कहना चाहते थे, लेकिन आले तशय्युअ की जो बात है वो भी हक है कि हो सकता है कि वो ही कहना चाहते हों। तो या अगर इम्कान को सामने रखते हुए हम दरमियानी सूरत में एक दूसरे का एहतराम भी कर सकते हैं कि भाई अगर आपको हदीस किरतास से ये नतीजा अखज़ करते हैं कि नॉमिनेट आप अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम ने मौला अली को करना था तो सर आँखों पे, क्योंकि ये मुमकिन है कि बाकी ही आप अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम ऐसा करने चाहते हों। और आले तशय्युअ की खिदमत में ये अर्ज़ है कि अगर कोई इसको डिनाई करे, इससे इख्तिलाफ करे, तो आले तशय्युअ को भी यही रवैया अख्तियार करना चाहिए कि हाँ, आप अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम मुमकिन है कि हज़रत अली को नॉमिनेट न करना चाहते हों बल्कि कोई और बात कहना चाहते हों। ये नबी पाक सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की ज़ात के ये तकादा भी है कि उन्होंने जिस चीज़ को खुद बयान नहीं किया हम अपनी तरफ से उसको हतमी तौर पे न बयान कर दें कि वो वही कहना चाहते थे। ये हमारी ज़ौक़ तो हो सकता है, लेकिन हमें पूरा यकीन नहीं है। हम में से हम इकट्ठे बैठे हुए हैं, 1400 साल पहले की बात छोड़ दो, हम एक दूसरे को नहीं समझ सकते कि हमारे दिलों में दिमागों में क्या है। तो 1400 साल पीछे जाकर हम कैसे कह सकते हैं कि आप अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम हतमी और यकीनी तौर पे यही कहना चाहते थे। ये मैं समझता हूँ दरमियानी रास्ता यही है कि हम एक दूसरे को एतराज़
जज़ाकल्लाह
जज़ाकल्लाह
शेख।
बाकी जो बात भी हो हदीस किरतास के हवाले से ही बात हो, उसके अलावा कोई बात ना हो, ताकि इसी पे डिस्कस हो।
Sheikh Arif Saab.
Thank you so much. Rafiq Shah Saab, his comments were these that here on this platform, we should always adopt the moderate path and the moderate understanding of what is happening. He said, me personally, I'm a Sayyid, so I would be inclined towards favoring the Khilafah of Imam Ali. And therefore, I would be inclined to interpret the event of Qirtas as being a wasiyah by the Prophet for Imam Ali. He said, however, that would be my personal preference. That would not be me looking at things objectively. He said, what we should not do is, we should not place our personal preferences on the interpretation of historical events or a hadith. He said, in line with this principle, if the Shias believe that Hadith Qirtas was about appointment of Imam Ali, then the Sunnis should say, if that's what you feel, then that's fine with us. And if the Sunnis feel it wasn't about the appointment of Imam Ali, then Shias would say, if you genuinely feel that that was the case, then we agree. Let us then acquire a moderate path that we really don't know, because we have no certainty what Qirtas was leading up to. Your interpretation is this, and your interpretation is that. Basically, bring about a moderate path, and if we're not sure about this, we can live with it, and that's fine. You can have two conflicting opinions living side by side. Rafiq Shah Sahab, a lot of the Shias would agree to the Sunni view, and a lot of the Sunnis will agree to the Shia view as well.
Yeah.
So it's not only a split of Shia Sunni,
Yeah.
it's general split of scholars. So Alhamdulillah, what you said is very nice. Learn to live properly with each other.
Jazakallah.
This
Jazakallah.
intermarriage was up there till about 40 years ago. Intermarriage, Shia Sunni was getting married in the southern part of Iraq. But the last 40 years, things has changed.
No, but Maulana Qusuri's point is right.
Yeah.
That ikhtilaf wasn't there.
Yeah.
This ikhtilaf is created by us.
But
yes.
40 years, the last
Alright.
40 years.
Now, Brother Bakr is here. We don't see. Maulana Sajjad Sahab, your turn.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I think Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam intends that Hazrat Ali should be Amir al-Mu'mineen or Khalifa after him, but he did not say explicitly. He gave indication in Man kuntu mawlahu fahaza aliyun mawlahu. But before his death, 3 days before his death, he asked for pen and paper. I think Hazrat Umar Farooq Raziyallahu Ta'ala anhu meant that he was going to write about Hazrat Ali. But Hazrat Umar Raziyallahu Ta'ala anhu thought that the personality of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam will be disputed. Why? Because majority of Sahaba were new after Makkah, and they were not came under the tarbiyah of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam for a long time. Still tribal system, tribal habits were there among them. So that's why Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, I think it's my opinion that he changed his view. Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam changed his view, and he did not write after that for 3 days. And he left
Because of fitna.
Because of fitna, and he left to the ummah.
Thank you very much. Now we are coming to very close. We got the 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes there will be conclusion and the points, differences, and the agreements and the points of reflection, which is the final session, which is the essence and the spirit of this program and this event. So, Sheikh Muhammad Amin Evans, mashallah, one of the grand sheikhs here.
I'm not so grand. I'm always amazed at how much air is moved when a group of learned brothers come together. It's a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa
It is, of
ta'ala.
course, it is.
My question is this, and it's a constitutional question, and it goes right back to the signing of the document, or the writing of a document. The Prophet, peace be upon him's authority in Medina was assigned by the citizens of Medina. They appointed him. Therefore, did he have the authority to appoint his own successor, or should it revert to the citizens of Medina? If he had written a will saying anyone should be the caliphate, he would have usurped, in this model, he would have usurped the rights of the citizens of Medina. The argument that Ghadir preempts that would assume that all the citizens of Medina were at Ghadir, which we can't assume. There may have been large groups who weren't on Hajj, but who were entitled to have an opinion as a shura within Medina. Now, Khalid ibn Abdul Fadl argues that Saqifa was just about the leadership of Medina, and the Medinans were arguing about it, the Aus and the Khazraj. It was their vote to appoint their Lord Mayor, if you like, of Medina, not a vote of the whole Ummah for the leader of the Ummah. These raise serious constitutional questions. The Prophet ﷺ was not a dictator, and if he had signed an assignation of who should be the Caliph over Medina, he would have been dictating to the people of Medina, not allowing them to exercise their free will. And I think we need to look at this constitutional conflict, and in fact we could even consider that the paper not being produced wasn't at the hand of men and their personal interests, although that's the active, moving thing. But it's actually at the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who says you're there to guide, you're not there to dictate to the Ummah.
Thank you very much. And we remember Brother Muhammad Bakr Saab, but you miss your turn because now this is the time for the conclusion. But if I can request you very briefly, you can say what you intend to.
Answer Sheikh Arif's question, which was addressed to Shias. Okay. First, he questioned Allah that why didn't he reveal a surah or a verse in the Quran mentioning Imam Ali? We must be aware there's so many surahs in Quran which refers to Ahl Bayt. So many. When incident happened, like when Imam Ali gave away his ring, a surah was revealed, and so on. Okay, so there are so many surahs. The other thing, even if we assume, okay, there was Allah had revealed a surah whereby Imam Ali was mentioned, people would have changed it. Instead of Imam Ali, they would have put somebody else. Okay, so that was a problem. Allah had promised he was going to preserve the Quran, and he would not have been able to preserve the Quran if that had happened. The other thing with confusion, who was Imam? Was it Imam Hassan, Hussein, and all that? That was all because Imam Ali was not allowed to become a first caliph. If he was the first caliph, he missed the reign of Abu Bakr, Umar, and Osman. I don't know how many years it took these three people to rule. And if Imam Ali was there, there would have been one Islam, more unity, and there would not have been so many differences.
Thank you. Thank you. Good remark. Now, thank you very much, the ulama, for your participation, your comments, and your, mashallah, valid questions over this important and crucial topic. Now, this is the final session. We have discussed for the last about 2 hours now. Now, this is the conclusion and achievement. Achievement is something which is very important. Obviously, this narration, the interpretation of this narration, this is the doctrinal, stand as doctrinal, fundamental difference between the two units of Muslim Ummah, Ahlul Tashayyu and Ahlul Sunnah. And from the one side, this narration of Qirtas, this is interpreted by, one side, Ahlul Tashayyu, as succession of Imam Ali in the light of the Dalail and the arguments presented very nicely by Sheikh Mahmoud Saab today. On the other side, as Sheikh Muhammad Umar Ramazan, he presented some months back. Unfortunately, we're missing him today here. He is one of the grand Sufis and a great alim, right? So he presented and discussed the Sunni perspective, already. And you can understand the people who attended the two sessions, right? And the Ahlul Sunnah interpretation is that it was not, definitely we cannot claim that that was in the case of succession, because Nabi alayhi salatu wassalam, he never dictated or written this wasiyah later on during his remaining day. This is the point of difference. And also the difference is over the position of Sahaba is specifically here as well. To one side, their position is unjustifiable because they were obliged, duty bound to follow the order of the Holy Prophet. Sunni stand is different here, official. I'm talking about the official stand, official so far. And they stopped the wasiyah of the Holy Prophet, never brought, never obeyed in that sense, completely out of their compassion and not giving any more trouble to the Prophet ﷺ because he was suffering. But now, with the explosion of knowledge today, many Sunni scholars, they incline to the point that the best point was that for the Sahaba to obey. If they obeyed, everything was decided. That was the best thing. But we have to respect Sahaba. We can't say that was in clear disobedience, but that was out of their compassion. These are the point of differences. Now coming to the common points. Common agreed upon between Sunnis and Shia regarding this Qirtas, because this is very important. Not everything is different. They are, basing for the unity working together as well. For example, Hadith Qirtas from the both side, as presented nicely by Sheikh Mahmoud Saab, from Bukhari and Sheikh Mufid, this narration is accepted. And last time we did mention Sheikh Abu Jafar, in your absence, you are a bit late today. And the second session you presented on the authenticity, credibility of this narration, that was excellent, presented by you. And I request you all and the people, thousands of the people watching, this program, they have to visit Sheikh Abu Jafar's program, authenticity, validity of this Hadith Qirtas. So this is agreed upon. This is the point. However, the first caliph, second and third, there is differences. But fortunately, very fortunately, the leadership of Imam Ali as Khalifatul Rashid agreed upon between both. And which is obviously mentioned by this Ghadir Khum as well. This is agreed upon. As Khalifatul Rashid, it can provide a solid basis even today, working together for Sunnis and Shias in this way. Thirdly, the institution of Ahlul Bayt agreed upon, from Ahlul Sunnah as well and Ahlul Shia. However, there are differences we discussed last time. But as institution of guidance, Markazul Hidayah agreed upon from the both sides, this is another point agreed upon and offering the solid basis, strong basis of mutual understanding, working together and dissipating the misunderstanding so far what we are having. So these are the points agreed upon. Alhamdulillah, what we have achieved today. Now there are the points of reflection, especially for both Sunnis and Shia, but especially for ulama of Ahlul Sunnah. You may remember at the time when Sheikh Umar Ramazan Saab, he presented Sunni perspective on Hadith Qirtas, right, then I presented the points of reflection, especially for Shia ulama there. Right. So here from ulama Ahl Sunnah. Number one, as we came to know, successorship to the Holy Prophet, according to the Quran, as Quran presented the case, it always had been in the close families of the Holy Prophet, the Quran talking about. And there is no exception from the final messenger, because he was the same messenger. That's why he's Khatamun Nabiyyin, belong to the same series. This is the point of reflection. And the ulama should understand what does it mean, point of reflection. This is not the Nazariya, not ideology, which is imposed nahi hoti. Yes, you have to think about it. This is something we cannot ignore. Number two, that was the established sunnah of the Holy Prophet. He always appointed Umara in his absence when he went out for any tabligh, for any expedition. And this is on the record. Ibn Hisham and other, Ibn Sa'd, they provided the detail. Even for one day, for few hours, for 1 month, he always appointed, never left his ummah behind without Amir. I said, what about when he was living forever and he left his sunnah, question mark, point of reflection. This is the academic term, And this is quite interesting. Khalifa Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu, Sayyidina Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu, both of them, they make their wasiyah. While they were suffering, and their conditions, as mentioned, the more worse than condition of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam at the time of writing. They were worried about fitna. And Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he was similarly worried about the fitna. This is another point of. Their wasiyah implemented both of the Khilafah, but the wasiyah of the Holy Prophet never met. Point of reflection for us. Then the final point is very important, how this is presented by Shah Waliullah Muhaddis Dehlvi. By the way, Shah Waliullah occupied the same caliber as Sheikh Mufid in Shia school of thought or Shia world. Because highly even Salafis, Deobandis, Barelvis, Sufis, Shafi, Hanfis, all they followed. He was a great, he lived about 300 years ago, right? Izalatul Khifa, one of the best. And he is talking about, this is very important point, the people, the Sahaba, and this is, we can say, after the incident of Qirtas, this might happen. They approached the Holy Prophet and they did request, you have to appoint someone upon us. You have to appoint. The Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, if I appointed someone upon you, you would be disobeying. Shah Waliullah, he says on the Sanad is Mustadrak lil Hakim, one of the early muhaddisun of Ahl Sunnah. Then they again requested, and if you, Ya Rasulullah, appoint Imam Ali upon us, Ali bin Abi Talib upon us. He said, I know Ali is Hadi and Mahdi, yasluku bikum sirat al-mustaqim. Yes, right. But I know you are not going to obey Ali, and if I announce in this way, after me Ali is there in this announce, and the people, they are not to obey him, they will be cursed and destroyed. Azab will be there, and I don't want to destroy you in this way. I think this is the point of reflection for us. We have to reflect. So these are the point of reflection, plus what I presented the point of reflection, especially for Shia ulama, in the light of the paper of Sheikh Umar Ramazan, that must be remembered as well. And I think if Sheikh and ulama are here, if you add some points here, in points of agreed upon differences, and before we have to conclude with dua, right? Any?
I think Rafiq Shah Saab's point was a very valid point, that in this issue of Qirtas, we don't seem to, as two groups, come on a consensus. And if there's no consensus, then that means that nobody can say with surety what was going to happen there. So each has to respect the other's view, and we should not impose our personal sort of interpretations on the Prophet's event, and thereby becoming biased against each other. Yes, we can be sure ourselves. I feel sure this is what he wanted to do. He wanted to give Imam Ali the Khilafah. Somebody else has got surety, he don't want to do that. Now when that's the case, we can say, okay, we can live with this and agree with this and not impose each other's views on that.
Right, because we got Kitabullah and everything is here, and then the Seerah and the Ahadith of the Holy Prophet and the way of the great Khilafah and Imams. What's
No, because the thing is, Imam Ali was still the Khalifa.
Yeah.
Khalifa Rashid.
Rashid, yeah.
He is still the Imam. Everybody should be happy. I mean, obviously we are sad that the Qirtas event happened. We are sad that there's dispute amongst the Muslims, but at least we are happy that everybody agrees he's an Imam and he's the Khalifa.
Yeah.
And he is both for all of us. So at least that's
So
a point.
Ahl Sunnah actually,
फ़र्ज़ करें हम मान लेते हैं कि किरतास में रसूलुल्लाह इसी को लिखवाना चाहते थे कि हज़रत अली खलीफा होंगे, उनको खिलाफत नहीं दी गई। आज तो दोनों पार्टियां नहीं, अब क्या कर लेंगे?
Right. This is the good point. And today we cannot appoint Imam Ali as Khalifa. We have to look at our own situation and we have to work together instead of creating, fitna and heresy and commotion in this way. I think everything is completed nicely. MashaAllah, good discussion. This is the only forum people always appreciated, where Sunnis and Shia ulama and non-ulama from the both sides sitting together, discussing, respecting each other for the sake of understanding and lillahiyyat. How far? If there are differences, how can we control the differences and the nature of the differences? And we have to work for the commonalities. Sheikh Mahmood Saab, you are the good speaker today presented.
Reflecting what Maulana Saab said, that they are not in front of us. We have to think now, what would the Prophet want us to do today? What would Imam Ali want us to do today? What would Khalifa Umar want us to do today? Yes? They would want us to live together and work together peacefully and be successful forward.
Yes. MashaAllah. This is something we have to look at it.
One ummah.